In a high-stakes, high-speed marketing world, transformation is the only constant, and Dentsu is rewriting its playbook to stay ahead. On this episode of Media Dialogues with Storyboard18, we sit down with Harsha Razdan, CEO South Asia for Dentsu, as he lays out the company's vision for the next 3 to 5 years in one of the most dynamic ad markets globally. From navigating legacy baggage and leadership shakeups to reimagining agency models in the age of AI and agile marketing, Razdan speaks candidly about the internal challenges, external pressures, and the bold bets Dentsu is placing to stay relevant and competitive. As the media landscape fractures and clients demand more than just buying power, can Dentsu India lead with innovation, integration, and impact? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard18. Harsh, it's a pleasure to have you here with me today.
Thank you.
So I want to get straight into the conversation, and of course I'll ask you about your vision for Dentsu, and we'll talk about the future. But before we do that, let's rewind a little bit. I want to know how it started for you. You, of course, not from the ad industry in that sense, an outsider joining one of the big holding companies and leading the India operations. Why did you take it on? Given your background and given where you were coming from, what was it about the job that enticed you in a way?
It was about the excitement in the industry. And I had a few interviews with my colleagues at APAC and in Japan. And the vision that they painted enticed me that I could make a substantial change where I would start as the CEO of this company and pave the path for Dentsu. That was as simple as this.
But were there any apprehensions at the time for you? But what were you sort of looking at as an opportunity and a challenge at that point of time? Some of the goals that you set for yourself back then.
The first thing was prepare hard. And I keep telling my colleagues in Japan that you made me work 60 to 70 days in advance before joining because I did not know what was coming my way. So I did a lot of meeting with colleagues, friends in the industry, on the supplier side, on the agency world to try and find out and bring
What's
myself to
happening?
pace.
Yeah.
And I was coming in pretty cold. The apprehension I had was that will I ever be accepted in the industry? And as you know, there are not many cases at senior levels which have come in
Right.
into the industry. And I also thought that maybe clients will be pretty awkward about meeting me. So so I had to prepare really well. When I came in, I must say that all of them were not true. Everyone in the industry, our company and outside were very welcoming. And clients, I was actually more defensive than the clients were because when I met the first few clients and my conversations were outside of standard media or creative, I got the chance to meet them again and again. And I realized what was actually a disadvantage in my mind was a big plus seen by everyone who was meeting me.
That's all about perspective, right? The way you look at that. But that really sort of sets the tone for the conversation, because we've spoken about this before. We've spoken about Dentsu's journey in India. Again, one of the big holding companies making its mark in the market. It's been a few sort of tumultuous years for Dentsu before you joined. You were, of course, taking on a lot. It was a huge mandate for you to take on. Going back to my question about the goals that you set for yourself at that point in time, can you tell me a little bit about what you were thinking? What was your first order of business for you back then?
The first thing for me was stabilize operations within Dentsu. And if you rewind, you'll realize that I didn't meet anyone
For
in
a
the
long
media
time,
for about
yes?
6 or 9 months. I thought, let me visit my clients first and settle things in order. There wasn't a CEO here for 2 years odd. And just sort of douse the fire in the company, get things stable, and then meet the media. My mandate as I came into Dentsu was to consolidate and stabilize Dentsu. If you look at the 3 phases, let me just go to the 3 phases.
Right.
Before me, there was this phase when we had acquired a lot of companies. To ingest talent, to become the first digital company in the country. That's what Dentsu was known for between 2015 to 19.
Ahead of the game in many
Correct,
ways.
correct.
Yes.
Ahead of the game in any ways. And 2020 to 23, 24 was when we had to consolidate. When I came in, I realized that most clients were saying, I don't know which brand you bought is talking to me. Multiple people come and meet me for the problems that I have. And I don't know whether they're competing with each other or what they're trying to sell. So I was in a phase where I had to consolidate, ensure that things stabilize, things ensure that we have one face to the client. And currently we have our top 75 clients having one single face to the client. 2025 onwards has been, I would say, differentiation, because having stabilized operations, our reputation in the market, it's about continually making the new of Dentsu, and the new thing is all around our Dentsu operating model, which I say top clients, one face, wherever you come from, whether creative, media, or tech. The second thing was around establishing ourselves from a media and creative company to a media, creative, tech, and a specialized services company. So this was the role, I would say, or the mandate, essentially stabilizing and then differentiating the company to be a new generation agency, which is actually what also got me in here. So I think we've done quite a lot. Till 2024, I thought I was a little slow. And when I
Why is that?
Because I thought that most of the thing that I was putting in place in Dentsu was like me versus the rest. Like when we first tried to establish the top clients model and one face to the clients, I'm sure people thought that this guy will quit pretty soon and this is not going to work. But now when I look back, a lot of people in my leadership team say thank you for telling that to us in 2023 September, and we are a year and a half down, and it's pretty much smooth right now. I'm sure we wouldn't have been this way if we had not pushed for the model that many years back. At the same time, establishing new practices, they've come in this year. I have this philosophy of continuously telling people fast fail. We are like founders, you have your own money. Will you invest in it if it was your own money? And if you had your own money, would you invest in something new? And try it out. If it fails, I'm standing behind you as a secure net, very, very clearly. But certainly don't do the same thing which you did yesterday. Be a better version of yourself tomorrow versus what you were today.
In our previous conversation, Harsha, we've talked about leadership, and what I think Dentsu was, like you pointed out yourself, Dentsu was missing was that leadership, that strong leadership, especially at a time of great change for the industry. We're seeing it across companies, across holding companies. Dentsu saw that absolutely accelerated fast growth, acquisitions, too many. Then the consolidations came, but in the middle of all of that, of course, there was a lot of leadership churn. There were a lot of there was talent exodus. That was one of the first things you had decided to fix as well. Tell me what your approach to how you are leading Dentsu has been, and how has it perhaps been molded to fit the challenges that Dentsu was facing, when you joined and even now.
So Delshad, you're right that if you look at growth for the last 10 years, and probably among the agencies I know of, we may be among the youngest. Oldest, maybe about 124 years this year across the globe, but among the among the fastest growing agencies in the last 10 odd years in India. When we went through the tumultuous times and I came in, my first principle was don't work on people's weaknesses. Let's look at what that person has to deliver for us and try and bring out that insight or that thing that the person loves. For example, in Japanese, they have this word called ikigai, which is reason to exist. And I say that what is your reason to be in the company? What do you want to do in life? Right. And if something you want to do which is exciting, something out of the ordinary. The old Dentsu used to work as creative silos or media silos. The new age Dentsu work wherever you want. And this is a family which will give you space to grow wherever you want. Secondly, I have this philosophy of fast fail. And I keep telling people that if you've achieved 100 as a target achievement last year, you'll get a stretch target of 130 or 130 or whatever. And I don't care if you fail. What I care about is that when you fall, you actually get up and become a better version of yours. I want to be the safety net for people. I want people to be fearless, and I want the culture to be vibrant. I want younger people to come in and join us saying, I want to work with this company because these people are going to really something different. I think that's been the pivot for me. And as a leader, as you know, there's not too much I can do until the army is actually charged up. And I just hope that everyone believes in this philosophy. And I think the younger that people are, the more they believe it. It just comes naturally to them. So my philosophy is just walk down the aisles, meet people, and ask my favorite question: what do you want to do in life? And then
what are some of the answers you get?
Some of them say that I just want to change my job. Some of them say that,
That's very honest.
I wanted to take a ride in your car. I said, yeah,
Mm.
go and take a ride in my car because it's a company car.
Mhm.
And multiple answers like that. But break down hierarchy. Don't work the way in which previously Dentsu at least would have worked.
Mhm.
Make it the new place where people
Yeah.
find they're going to thrive
Mm.
themselves at. That's the main thing. I would
Mhm.
say it's all about people. And when you asked that was it different from my previous world, yes and no.
Mm.
Yes, because it's a different industry, but no, because it was also people management earlier. Eventually you can't do anything yourself
Mhm.
unless your team decides to do it. So I think it was
Absolutely.
people management earlier. It's
Mhm.
people management now.
Absolutely. And that doesn't change, right? And we always say that it's a people's business. It is what it is. But we're speaking about the internal challenges you face. Now, well, let's talk a little bit about the external challenges that the industry is facing. We spoke a little bit about consolidation. Dentsu went through that. You were leading that charge there. We are seeing that across holding companies. We know what's happening at WPP, Publicis, uh, across the board. There's a lot of change, leadership churn as well. How are you seeing, from your perspective now, having been in the seat at Dentsu as CEO for a few years now, how are you seeing the changes that are happening at the other big players? Is there something that you're keeping your eye on? Who's doing it right? Who's not doing it right?
I think that I come from the advantage of not having any legacy challenges, and I'm pretty open and blunt in terms of what I see. So if I look at the last 2 years, we've ourselves been changing into being a one Dentsu. By one Dentsu, I mean that if you're a large client and I'm meeting you, it's not about I can do an ad for you or I can release a media place for you or I can implement some technology for you, but being your best friend as a CMO. If you're the CMO, can I solve for your problems as much as possible? Now, when I look at CMOs in the country many years back, and when I used to be in marketing, we used to have our agency, and they used to be an integrated agency, right? They will solve your problems on media, on creative. Tech was not that big that time, but they used to solve all the problems. If we talk about CMOs today, they have multiple agencies working with them. Those multiple agencies have multiple partners.
Yeah.
So imagine the kind of
Web.
web that the CMO is trying to deal with. And then we suddenly go and say, can I do an out-of-home campaign for you? It doesn't work for him or her. So our philosophy and my philosophy is move back to almost a 1990s integrated model. This is what some people have told me who've been in the agency network along with me, that you're going back to the original setup. Everything would be done under one roof. And that's, I think, one philosophy most traditional holdcos are also doing right now. From an India perspective, I think we've been on the journey for almost 2.5 years. A difficult journey, easier said rather than done.
Yeah.
Because when you say you're changing a structure, everyone says yes, we will do it, but they don't want to change because designations change. Some of our competitors look at geographical changes. Easier to say, but if you've been operating for 20-25 years, changing is not going to be easy.
Absolutely.
So I believe that the people are going to get to the same result over a period of time. And I tell my teams that don't worry about what the other compete is doing or not. Be a better version of yourself tomorrow. Keep continuously improving. You have AI today, you'll have something else coming up tomorrow. Continually learn until the time you're better than yourself today versus tomorrow, today versus yesterday. I'm sure you will be faster in the race. There's going to be no permanent winner because there'll be some or the other disruption coming in after 2 or 3 years.
Constant disruption.
Correct.
But I'll dig a little deeper into the point about what clients are also expecting now, because there's a bit of confusion about what's happening. Models are changing. AOR model versus project based. What is happening right now? You mentioned about clients, of course, want one unified solution provider. But that's not happening. It's not easy to do that now. And like they say, you can't put the toothpaste back into the tube. So are they looking for more outcome-based solutions? What is happening?
The CMO is under pressure like no time before. And the old world was about stable systems, longer term deals, consumers don't change that much. Now it's about outcomes. But I don't think only a brand-based campaign is going to sort of win the race. It's going to be a brand and performance both going through.
Absolutely.
So for agencies and networks, I think the philosophy I keep saying is that continually evolve yourself. Think about what it'll be to sort of be in the CMO shoes, his or her shoes. Think about delivering part of his or her headache. It's pretty much common that most procurement companies in our clients will also not allow the model to change from what it is to the future, because most of them are global. Uh, Global companies will have different things happening in different countries. They'll try and standardize to get procurement paths together. So do your bit. I'm sure each of us can impact our client in some way or the other. And if you're doing only one part of the client's brief, can you do 3 or 4 parts tomorrow? Can you do 10 more parts the after tomorrow? And then our model around the large clients, which is the top 70, 75 odd clients, they are reviewed every 6 weeks by me directly. We are trying to inculcate the younger generation having the confidence to cross-sell and take other colleagues to clients, not as brokers. I keep saying we are supposed to be practitioners. Don't say that God want to make you meet my friend because he or she can do this. No, stand there, deliver along with him or her, and get the kudos for the good thing, get slapped for the bad things, but learn to be a better version of yourself as you go forward.
So currently, what are the top clients that you have, and any sort of new business wins that you are going after?
So many pitches that we won even recently. The LI Council was there, GI Council, Kotak 7. So multiple pitches coming around. I'm still fighting the battle in terms of procurement team versus CMOs. I think a lot of new age CMOs are now beginning to get the picture. Like I was in a discussion with one of the close CMOs some time back, and I was talking to him about our entertainment and sports business. You would know that our Japanese business is a very strong entertainment sports business, and that's now been launched in India. We are scaling it up, and this gentleman who's a close friend, he said, "Why don't you bring it to us? It's a new client. Why don't you bring it to us? Why does it have to come when you and I are talking?" I said, "It's because of you." He said, "What do you mean it's because of me?" I said, "Imagine your team has been given a brief by you as a CMO. That brief has been given to the agency side. The agency person will not talk beyond the brief, because the moment I give an idea or the team gives an idea, your team will be scared to bring it up to you saying, by the way, XYZ, this is a different result they're coming up with." So I said, for you, you should almost in your mind, categorize your spends into BAU and something as innovation, and say only for the new ideas, I'm going to encourage the agency and my team to come and talk to me. So as people, I would say CMOs, they also realize that they've been working with a particular way, not wrong or right, but unless they allow the leeway for the teams to experiment, the agency team will always not have the guts sometimes even put it up to them.
Absolutely. So, there's also that dynamic, that relationship that is completely changed right now, especially when we are talking about also a lot of in-housing happening. Models are changing. Has that been a concern for you?
Totally, you're right. And our current thinking around the model is we are fit for purpose. We are not proposing an insourcing or outsourcing. It's like the BPO wave many years back in clients, or the tech wave. A lot of clients outsource tech. Some clients had to insource, then again outsource tech. Why? Because when you outsource tech, you don't have capability. When you insource, you believe you can do it better. After a few years, you realize that actually you lost the best practice because you're not an expert in technology or marketing. You outsource again. So every client will go through its ups and downs, and we should be ready with them as a true partner, whether it's insourcing or outsourcing, either way. We are also trying out value-based models. Not many takers, I must tell you, and because I think we get stuck with the standard procurement teams. And it's also about the CMO then convincing his or her CEO. A lot of times I then go and talk to CEOs, can you try out this as a separate model? A lot of times say, okay, this is the deal that we have globally. And by the way, it only has to be so many number of people staffed. I said, but that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you drive more cars, more accessories, or more sales. So can we do a different contract? And most clients ask me, who does it? I said, what do you do with any of the large consulting firms? Do you do standard contracts across the world, across every client? You don't. So look at it this way, that you have to solve a business problem or a marketing problem. Maybe your answer is going to be a little different, but unless you give a chance and allow for your teammates to challenge the procurement team internally, it's not going to happen.
It's very interesting. Do you find it easier to talk to, given your background, do you find it easier to talk to CMOs or CEOs?
CEO is very natural. In fact, what I tell my teams is that it's a very complementary relationship. And when I came in new, I asked for the top 50 CMOs in my company to meet. And for the first 60 days, I got no names because people thought he'll forget or perhaps avoid it because he wants to go alone for the meeting. He doesn't want to go with 8 or 10 people. And I go for all meetings one to one because that's when you have a genuine discussion. That's when you know what is going wrong or right. But I've generally seen that I can talk to both. But my relationships over the past have been CEO related more than CMO related.
We know, the Japanese way of functioning is very different from the Americans or the French or the English. So, what are some of the goals that you have set together for the India market, which we know is very, very important for all the holding companies? We're seeing that kind of investment also coming in. We're seeing, visits by global leadership to India. For Tokyo, where does India stand? And what's the vision that you've set together with them?
So the last 1.5 years was establishing trust with Japan, and
which was
a little shaky, I would say,
shaky.
in the 2022 period. Our global CEO Igarashi-san was among the first visitors in October 23, and that's where the whole journey around the operating model started. And then we had our global CFO, our Japan CEO, who's, and Japan's one of our most successful markets, and they are now supporting us in a lot of new initiatives coming into India. Sano-san coming to India. But having said that, my vision, and which is what we are working with Japan, is to double revenue in 3 years. As I said, we are into phase 3, which is differentiation. Differentiation in the new areas of business. And the new areas of business very clearly are entertainment, gaming and sports. It's retail media. Right. It is our Dentsu Good, which is a sustainability brand. It is our B2B business, which used to lie disintegrated and it's come back into the portfolio. As I move ahead in the space, there will be areas which we will have internal talent on, and areas where we will need new talent. For example, influencers, meme marketing, sports experts, esports experts. I don't think we have that talent within Dentsu. Okay. So we may acquire, we may build talent internally, we may partner with companies, but that's the overall vision that we're looking at for Dentsu in India.
Go back to the revenue targets for me. Can you recap the revenue targets and also headcount targets? And you said acquisitions also. Which specific areas are you already sort of exploring things in?
So I won't quote revenues as we are not listed, but headcount, my view, very contradictory to what even Japan says, is not to increase headcount. The same headcount has to be able to deliver double the revenue, and we are about 3,000 odd headcount right now. Double the revenue in 3 years. Why? I think with AI coming in, a lot of things will become faster. Secondly, a lot of our people who have been doing a single job will be able to do multiple jobs as they learn. And thirdly, I would say, as we expand, our ability to portfolio sell will also help us get more traction. I would say these are the 3 big levers. Now again, I said influencers or meme marketing. We do some bit of work here and there, but do we have our own platform? Do we have 150, 200 member focus team around it? No. E-gaming doesn't exist. For most companies in India, leave alone Dentsu. Can we get someone from internally? It's a hard sell. I'll have to get someone from outside very, very clearly. We've got an ex-IMG person into our sports framework just recently. And he's changed the game in terms of how we think about sports. I would say cricket, but I would say also a lot outside cricket. Outside cricket, it's huge, very clearly. We look at a B2B setup. Very clear, there's some consulting people who can do a better job than a lot of the people here. So we've got some consulting people in. Retail media, we've got tie-ups with quite a few tie-ups in India. And we have an ex-Amazon person who's leading the service for us in India. So we're trying to mix and match. And at least the philosophy in Dentsu has been that no one can be a specialist in everything else. So let your colleague teach you something and take it in a positive way rather than saying that I knew everything which is going right.
Which, let's face it, there are, your competitors, rivals who have been growing faster and who have that buying power right now, whether it's WPP or Publicis or, Havas right now. But, so is that the strategy? You're not sticking to buying power right now, media buying power, you're just, expanding the portfolio?
So buying power is rapidly diminishing, I would say. And over the next 2 years, I believe that it's going to be a leveler. It's going to be table stakes because things will get programmatic. It'll not be as easy for the traditional companies to maintain that delta on buying power. So I think that's given, and I'm not saying we're not going after it, but I don't think we can put long-term bets on buying power. It's about being more effective. That's a trick very clearly. It's about integrating marketing and technology together. That's what our philosophy always has been about. So yes, to your question, it's about differentiation, but we're not ignoring buying power. I think I don't think we lost pitches in the last year and a half because of buying power. And clients don't make you lose pitches for 1 or 2%. They make you lose pitches for a big amount. I think those differences don't exist in the market, and I don't think over the next 2 years there'll be any difference at all. Most agencies will be pretty similar. It's about how much of a integrated setup can you have. For example, let me just give some examples of how we are setting up. For us, we've had something called as Dentsu Bharat. Most agencies have pulled out of South India and are going careful on East India.
Right.
We've rapidly increased business in South India. In East of India, we have built or we've taken over a team of 100 odd people. We're going to deep into Calcutta, at least the West Bengal market. We have Dentsu Lab, which is the only creative tech lab in APAC, which is the place we're sitting in.
Right.
And it's an India out lab. As you know, a lot of the innovations in India are value led. Can we take these innovations outside from an Indian perspective, I would say. And then there's a Dentsu operating model which just combines all of this together into one kitty,
right.
And brings the best of Dentsu. I don't think the journey is over. It's at least 2 years down more, but we are well on track.
Some of the other players are also sort of investing heavily in global capability centers. India has become that hub. Is that something that's on? What's Dentsu's take on that? What's the view there?
That's exactly the way to go. We have a center which is about 6,500 people, and I keep saying that there has to be total fungibility between 3,000 people serving Dentsu India and 6,000 people servicing global markets. If people from the global center want to move into serving Indian clients, hop in here. If I need some talent which the global centers have, they can give me the talent. So it has to be totally in sync very, very clearly. In fact, our head count, real estate, our talent strategy, our recruitment strategy, all one Dentsu right now in India. We don't differentiate between people who are doing global roles or doing Dentsu India roles. So that is exactly the way to do. And it has to be one company. Otherwise, you'll have people saying, I'm sitting in that part of the organization having these kind of perks. That certainly doesn't exist in this world.
Absolutely. Speaking about technology and AI, there's of course a lot of sort of existential crisis hitting the industry, especially on the creative side when we talk about AI, but also in general, it's appending a lot of businesses right now. Even something like just in-housing, you're seeing clients doing more with AI in-house versus getting agency partners on board. How are you future-proofing Dentsu when it comes to all the changes and disruptions that AI is bringing in?
So we call it AI for growth. AI can typically lead to efficiency or to growth, and we define it as it can drive growth through more innovative creativity, insights that we'll never have. That's the philosophy.
Yeah, because right now the focus is all on efficiencies.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'll come to the India aspect. You're very right. We have this tool called Dentsu Connect, which is interoperable. It works across platforms. Has to be. You can't have tools that work on X platform, doesn't work on Y platform. That doesn't work. Right. The philosophy is work to serve the needs of a client in a setup which is plug in and plug out. Right? From an India perspective, we have 2 themes running directly with me, and there's a reason for it running under me in AI because there's a lot of push which happens when you launch anything on AI. People get insecure about their own jobs. Sometimes people don't know what they've been doing in the past and say in XYZ in this company is doing that, and you don't know whether it's legally done or not legally done. I said, let me have this stream under me. There's one stream on efficiency, which works about ensuring we can get our bills out faster. We can get reconciliations faster for our clients. We can look at recruitment much more faster. Rather than looking manually sifting through CVs, can we AI through multiple CVs and do things? That's a stream of work. Reporting for our clients. Clients ask for reports. We take 5 days to generate reports. Can we do that in, let's say, a quick period of time? So that's one stream of work. The other stream of work is on growth, and in terms of working with clients to work on the AI language. So these two streams both lie with me. In fact, the biggest, not the hindrance, biggest revelation, we have this, every 12 months in the month of July, we do our talent assessment for people who are 2 levels below me, the top 55 or 60 odd people. And it's done among the leadership team. The reason for that is that we don't want any side deals among people. I'm in the media setup and someone likes me, gives Delshad a good rating. Harsh is not given a good rating because it's the creative setup, or the boss is not that powerful. For the last 3 years, we've had a common setup where we evaluate Delshad's rating among all the leadership team. So one story outside that room. You may fight in the room, but don't go out. And AI was the area we picked up as capability. And we realized the more senior the leader, the worse the conditioning of that person was. In fact, I got in one of my AI team members demonstrating to the team as to what he or she had done. He had done for automation. And after some time, I said, stop, there's no one saying anything. And I said, can you just simplify what you're saying? And this guy said, I'm using Python and this and that. And his nickname turned out to be something Python after that, because people realize that you don't know what this guy is saying.
Absolutely.
And so
language.
Correct. It's language, and also it's scary beyond a point.
It is.
It is scary. So I've kept it with me right now because I genuinely believe that balance will happen only when it's kept with me. Otherwise, a lot of people will just push it to the side, not allow it to happen. And eventually, it's like there's a tsunami outside. You can't turn your face to the wall and say nothing's happening. It is going to hit you. You might as well embrace it and
ride the wave instead of being washed away with everything that's happening. Just a couple of last questions because we're running a little low on time, Harsha. But I want to, you've of course been a veteran of consumer industries, given your past experiences as well. When it comes to some of the new age brands that are emerging, the newer marketers, the newer generation of CMOs and CEOs and founders, for instance, how are you seeing those conversations evolve right now? Are they very different from some of the other CMOs of legacy companies and CEOs of legacy institutions and organizations? How are you seeing that, and how are you addressing the needs, the concerns of these new age marketers?
So we are building Dentsu for legacy brands and for new age brands. And I keep saying that everyone in our company will not be fit for purpose for every possible client. And that's why you have a lot of founders who were our founders from the acquired days also continuing with us. The Socrates founders still continue with us. As we look to acquire more and more of this new talent, I hope that some of that talent stays with us, because it's not going to be natural for me. While I may say that I may be a perfect fit for a new age company, but the new age founder may not find me the right fit, very clearly. So can I have that talent which he or she would like to have on the board? So get in new talent, get in some of these people from new age companies, Amazon's of the world, mix and match your talent.
Which is what you're doing.
Which is what we're doing. I have to do more of it, because I keep saying everyone will not be liked by every client. So have enough. Let's have an orchestra ready to play, and hopefully they play as a symphony rather than you only have one instrument playing. And the client says, it's just boring. Every time you come and play the same instrument, but this time can we have a higher pitch of the other instrument? That's what I'm hoping to do, I would say. So
what are some of the instruments that these new clients or these new age clients are looking for, marketers?
One is being totally value-led and being outcome-oriented, not traditional for the AOR agency, if I would say. Second is being fast, doing it as of yesterday. Don't tell me you're going to ask your boss, can't do it over the weekend, let's talk next week. Not going to work for them.
Pace is completely different.
Pace is different. And third, I would say work like a true partner. Things go wrong. If it's going wrong, say, I made a mistake, and you stop the activity and change. There's no harm in saying that. A lot of times we do work, but we but we just hold back, saying, should we give the bad news now, or should we hold back? Just give the bad news. You get beaten for it, but at least they respect you for the
Being
fast fail
upfront.
aspect, I would say. These are three things which I'm trying to tell our people. Not easy, but as we mix and match our people, hopefully they will have the they will have the strength to do that.
Injecting that new talent
Correct.
with the current talent that you have. But I really like the two things that you mentioned: fit for purpose and fast fail. I think those are the two things that are really driving your leadership style at the moment. But with everything that's happening in the industry, also we've spoken about the ad ecosystem. We've spoken about how the industry is going through this massive flux and change. There is a lot of regulatory scrutiny. There is, of course, a lot of chatter around measurement and that changing. We're talking about how there's a ratings overhaul almost in the works as well. As the leader of Dentsu in India right now, how are you facing some of these challenges?
You're right, it's a changing environment, and there are parts of the industry which can be measured very well. And there are those big platforms which have the walled gardens and data comes in sporadic ways. So answers for a CMO are not going to be easy. They've never been more difficult, I would say. The job is to mix and match all of this together with experience, insights, and make sense out of it. I think that's what a CMO is struggling to do. And if we can be true partners in that, I think that's the story for Dentsu, as I say. I also say we don't have the right answers always, but at least we'll try to come close to your answer. And if we can't, I'll not do the job. I don't want to do it and spoil relationship over the longer term if I'm going to give a half-baked answer. From an industry perspective, industry bodies play a key role. They play a key role in terms of supply side. They play a key role from an agency side, from a partner side, from a advertiser standpoint. A good role in terms of ensuring fairness, inclusivity in the industry, very clearly. From a regulator standpoint, we are keen and we continue to work with them because I think the regulators bring a good balance of the way we exist, good balance in terms of innovation and I would say safety, and just being safe in terms of what you're doing or not doing. We are collaborating with everyone as much as we can, and we hope for the betterment of the industry. We are all able to come together to make it a much thriving industry.
Absolutely. And have you found we spoke initially about the acceptance and something that you saw as a disadvantage but actually being an advantage for you, that outsider perspective when it comes to Dentsu's role in the industry, whether it is bodies, whether it is conversations around all of these pressing issues right now. Do you see Dentsu playing a bigger role going forward? Because it has been very quiet. There were a lot of internal issues that the company was facing itself. So therefore, there wasn't much of, external engagement in that sense, whether it is, within the industry or with the media for that matter. Now that you feel that maybe you've settled the ship a little bit more, do you see Dentsu playing a bigger role in the overall direction of the industry?
See, I would say our Dentsu philosophy and our global CEO says is about humble confidence. And that's my leadership premise, that you don't have to go around shouting that you've done a great job even before the job is started. Let the job happen, people will realize. And that's the philosophy with which we've dealt with most of these issues, that we are doing our best. We are not going to shy away from things which can improve the industry. We hope people come together and we have cohesive action. We are a part of the industry. We want it to sort of become better for all of us. So we're doing a role, and as much as we're involved, we will continue to participate and collaborate with regulators and industry.
Absolutely. But if you could sum up your, these past couple of years leading Dentsu, in terms of your leadership approach and going forward, what it will be, can you sum it up for us?
So for me, every leader needs to have a purpose. I think everyone needs to have a purpose. My purpose is very clearly that I want to see that my company sort of moves from position X to Y, and that position X to Y is people having better careers for themselves over a 3-year period. Clients saying, wow, this is the impact that you made. Society is saying that genuinely you've done the right thing for us. If I can do these 3 things over, I would say, the next 2 odd years, then automatically people say, at least you were a good leader and you didn't do things selfishly, but you did things for society, people, clients, I would say. it has to be worked by people. And very clearly, I'd summarize and say fit for purpose, very important. And whether I like it or not, things will continue to change. So let's ensure that we continue to have enough disharmony. As I said, there should be reasonable discomfort in everyone, but not so much discomfort that you feel that you can't work, but reasonable discomfort that you continue to learn. This is what I tell even my leaders. If you're discomforted, it's for a purposeful reason, because I believe you should have reasonable discomfort and not zero discomfort. And the second thing is fast fail. Keep trying and trying. And that's the only thing. You're running on a treadmill. Till the time you think you can run faster today versus yesterday, believe me, in a year, you'll be pretty much there versus most of your competes. Don't look at jobs or future jobs, even outside of Dentsu, into your left and right, but they can go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Look at, for example, there was this discussion had with someone in terms of key account management, and they said, what's the use of key account management? I said, talk of the large conglomerates in the country, and if you are managing one of the conglomerates in a Dentsu, and if I were to recruit a conglomerate expert in some other industry, who will I look for? I would die for a person who's managed the whole conglomerate. Right. So it could be non-standard jobs, rather than saying I'll be a media specialist or a South media head or a West creative head. These are excellent roles, but think a little bigger. Right. And think much outside the industry. As the world's huge right now. World's huge.
Which has always been an issue with the industry. Right? It's very insular in many ways. And what I'm hearing is you're trying to sort of really change that up right now. The old ways, there are certain things that work, there are certain things that will not work. Don't be humble here, Harsha, but tell me, what do you see as your greatest strength right now amongst the CEOs in the industry? Don't be no humble confidence.
I think my greatest strength is to be able to say things honestly and to the face without any legacy. And I'm not worried about what would be wrong or right, or what would be seen as wrong to right, but as long as it's clear from a moral compass perspective, and I think it's right for the industry, is going to be top-notch to the clients. When clients talk to me and say, can you do the job? And I'm not sure, I'd say, if I'm not going to do the job. But let's be clear and honest and talk their issues rather than my short-term goals or disadvantages.
Absolutely, and trying to fit that, fit that into whatever it is that they are doing. A couple of more questions I'll ask you, something a little lighter, but we talk a lot about work-life balance all the time, and we tend to sort of talk about from an employee standpoint, but also leadership, right? What is your idea of work-life balance, Harsha?
Everyone has different meanings, and my reportees tell me that I should demonstrate a little bit more. Now, although I find enough time to relax with the family, and the family is also here with me over the next month. But I think the key thing is finding enough time for your work and then relaxing. For example, I don't send emails over the weekend unless urgent. My mails are always sent for 6 o'clock on Mondays. So if you check my outbox on Monday, there'll be like 30 emails, which will be shot out. Shot out on Monday. But I think it's about having fun at work. Work forms a great part of our lives. People should find it as an excellent place to work, enjoy yourself, learn. At the same time, find enough time to go and relax at home. It depends on the person. Different people have different priorities, but my thing is that try and make the balance for each of them.
And it needs to be fulfilling as well. And for you, home is also interesting because you're like a power couple right there, right, with Anuradha. Has that, do you all bounce off things of each other? But we talk about like the Unilever wife, how is it being the Unilever husband in your case?
Oh, excellent. I have so many, I keep saying I have so many friends, especially in the FMCG world. And I've enjoyed being the Unilever trailing spouse, as I call it, everywhere. So when people have discussions with spouses in meetings, I never feel out of sorts because I know people from a personal standpoint, I've seen them from business standpoint. But Anuradha has been my biggest strength along with son Rishi, and everything is bounced off her. She's the only person we bounce off. I bounce off things with. And that happens pretty regularly. Even now, we talk every day. There's a fixed time, 10:30 p.m. at night. It's locked in to talk to the family, it has to happen every day, irrespective of where anyone is.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And that, again, to your point about setting that time and space for yourself, which will eventually bring that work-life balance. But thank you so much for sharing so much with me, Harsha. It was a pleasure chatting with you like always.